Hello everyone, welcome back to my Unreal Engine open world series. So today we are going to develop a procedural road system like this. So this is not this road is created with multiple elements and guided with a spline. So when I change the spline, as you can see, the road is created like this, and this road has an element like this to the floor, and in these sides there are different objects like this, and also these arcs are another different objects. All of these are placed as hierarchically instanced static meshes, so for the performance also this is good. And yes, it does support arcs as well, like this and like this. Also, you can change the distance in between these each of these elements to fit your requirements. Not just for the arcs, it can be done for everything, and also the scale and all the things that you need to customize. And this episode is sponsored by these generous patrons. Thank you very much for the support you guys are giving me. Alright, so let me open up my procedural ridge. Well, I think I should give this a meaningful name, because I'm going to change this static mesh, and we can use this thing for different purposes, like making roads, making electric wires, making fences, many things. So therefore I'll name this one procedural. What should I call? Object. That's generic. All right. And first I'll yeah, I'll set the static mesh of this HISM. Well, no, can I break this one and promote to a variable? Yeah, right. Let's call it SM. No, let's call it mesh. Okay, so by default I'll put some static mesh for this one. Let's say I have this Infinity Blaze grassland project imported. So let's add what should I add? Do we have something like a road here? I think this would work. Let's place it. Oh wait, why can't I set it? Okay, right. I think I have to do it like this. We can't just promote it to a variable. Get this one and set static mesh. Okay, and then set, well, this should be not a mesh, this should, the variable type here is instant static mesh. It should be a static mesh. Now I can, yeah, now I can. Now let me drag and drop this one, and then I'll use it here, and I have made this public. So right, So when I place this in the world, yeah, I have a variable here, so I can change this if I want, like this. Okay, so now this is what I have. Let me make a path like this. Wait. Okay, so here I have added some randomizations. So yeah, for a path I don't need that. Therefore, yeah, I'll change this increment, not change. I'll promote it to I'll set it to public so that I can change it here. And also this amount of randomization, I'll promote this one to a variable as well. Scale randomization. And instead of doing it like this, I will make it like this. Plus, this one should be 1. And I should get the other part from here. Minimum is 0. And I'll set this one to 0 by default so that we wouldn't have any randomization. Okay, now we have same size blocks. And let me make it large, make it longer like this. Right, so now we have this, and we can change this increment to fit. Yeah, this scale is better, I guess. Yeah, cool. A little bit of overlapping. Okay, 500 is perfect. Right, so now we got a way to place the rods. And I think I can bend this as well, because yeah, when I bend it I start to see these gaps. We don't have, yeah, we can fix it by reducing the overlap or increment, but that's not perfect. So for now I'll keep this only for straight paths. We get problems with overlapping because we are using perfect square blocks. Okay, let me move it up and make it a little longer. It's like a bridge now. Right, so far this is the same. So what's new? What's the new thing I can add to this? Right, now let's add some side objects like railings. We have let's see. What is the size of this one? Does this match? Let's see. This is a little bit larger than one of these blocks. What if I rotate it? No. Okay. Uh, right. I can solve this problem. Let's create an array of these meshes. So for that one, I need to have an increment, a mesh, a scale randomization. Okay, so let's create a structure to hold those data. Let's call that procedural element. And the first type should be static mesh. Let's call it mesh. And the next thing is distance in between, so I'll just call it distance, and it should be float. And the next thing is scale. Well, yeah, we can do it like this: scale max and scale min. So yeah, we can handle the randomization there like this. So for the distance, as the default value, I'll set 500 and scale max and min to 1. And for the mesh, let's use the same. Right, now here let's do this like this. I'll add a new variable. Let's call that procedural elements, and the type of procedural element. Compile, and this should be an array like this. So I'll get the first one, I'll keep it as like this, compile, get the object for each loop. Let me split this one. As the mesh, I'll set this one, the current mesh that I get from this procedural element, and scale, I think I will do it like this: scale max is goes here and scale min goes here, and place in distance should go here. So I don't need the increment or the scale randomization. Compile and save. Yeah. Alright, so now I don't need this part. I can directly connect this one. And let's make these procedural elements public, and I'll delete this mesh and scale randomization and increment. Compile, save. Okay, now we have our path like this. Well, I see some gaps. Not sure why. Well, this is odd. Let me check. Scale max and array element distance. Well, that problem is gone once I delete and add the object again, the procedural object again. But I think that's because that happens because I added some point at the middle to test a curve. Right. So anyway, it's gone now. Okay, so now the sides. For that, okay, we don't really have to do, actually we do have to do something. Here I'll add another object. No, not here, here, like this. I'll call it offset, and it should be a vector. Okay, and here I'll add that offset to the location. Offset is here. Now since it is 0 by default, you don't see anything here. Alright, and now here I'll add another element like this. Instead of this plain floor block, I'll add, okay, so to add another element, let me save this first. I have to do this, another element, and instead of this one, let's add which one? Yeah, what about this? Okay, this one. Wait. All right, I know what happened. Right, I think when I set the static mesh again, it replace and delete the previous instances. So therefore, maybe I have to add this one as a instance static mesh. This one also has to be an array. Oh, can I add instanced static mesh component? No, I don't think this would work. Well, let's give it a try that way. Add hierarchically instanced static mesh, and let's promote that to a variable. Let's call it HISM current. And instead of this, I'll use this one here, and also here. Where else I use it? I think that's all. Compile. Okay, now I have the first element, but what about the second one? Just to test. Only the first one is being drawn, not the second one. Let's see. Right, we do have that here, but only one instance. Okay, I know the problem. I have to set the placing distance to 0 in the beginning of each round. So that means here. The placing distance, this one, yeah. Set placing distance to 0. Right, now we do have that. Okay, now it's the time to use the offset, and also we need to add a rotation too. But first I'll add the offset to the second one. What's the direction? It should be in Z axis, right? Yeah, let's add 20. Not enough. 50. Not enough. Okay, 200 is the correct value. And how to rotate this? So for that I'm gonna have to add another variable to the procedural system, procedural element, and we have to add it here. For this rotation we can't add log, no. First I'll add another variable. Let's call it rotation offset. It should be in the type of vector. Save. And here let me rotate vector. Okay, for this rotate vector I can use this one, offset. This should work. Alright, now here we have this. Oh, the engine crashed. Let me restart. Okay, restart the engine. Now here in the second element, let's add in an offset of 90. Oh wait, it's not working. Alright, what I did before is not saved. I hope it won't crash this time. Okay, so not in the X that I should change, not you. So I think this one. Alright, okay, it's fixed. Is it though? Yeah, right, it is. And we have a small gap here, so I'll change the offset 195, no, 180. Okay, and also it's outside this one, so that means I need to add -5. No, in the y direction. 20, 50. Is it correct? That does it overlap? Yeah, it's perfect now. Okay, so now I need the other side as well. So all I have to do is I can I duplicate this one? I can copy this, right? Okay, I can duplicate this. Oh, it crashed again. Right, so I added another element to this array and said the same thing. So here for the y offset, I think I should add, let's say 500. Not enough. How much? 800. Yeah, not 800. 750. Okay, that's better. Right, let me load the sub levels. Otherwise this doesn't look good. Okay, so we have the complete road. Cool. And I can change the length of this very easily. See, you have the complete road like this. And yeah, now shall we add another element? Hope it won't crash the engine. Oh shit. Well, I added another element like this, and it doesn't actually match the scale. Well, first I need to match the position. Okay, is it in the middle? I guess so. Now let's increase the scale. Not enough. I guess this would be enough. And Okay, now I'll increase the distance because it's not very well, it's okay kind of. Well, if I want, I can change the distance between these arcs as well, like this. If I want, I can add many more. If I need, I can keep it light like this. Okay, and I'll stop this episode at this point. And you can download the source code in my Patreon page. And if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of my Patreon club, and the link would be in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.